Good morning, everybody, as we go to the chitas of the day. And we are holding, today is Thursday, we're holding the fifth portion of the portion of Vayera. We're holding on chapter holding in chapter 8, verse number 7. So so the Pharaoh told Moses that he should ask for God to get rid of the Tzvadim tomorrow. Verse 7 starts, Moshe Rabbeinu says, I will do that. I will get rid of the Tzvadim, the frogs, tomorrow from your house, Betecha, from your homes. From your surim, Amecha, from your nation. Rak Bayer to shine, it will remain in the Nile. Moshe went out of Pharaoh. Moshe and Moses cried out to God, Al-Dvar Tzvadim, concerning the frogs. Ashasham Lepare, which he put upon Pare. So Rashi says, Vayitzak, he went out. Miyad Shekiras Lamacha. Immediately that they should be destroyed on them tomorrow. And God did what Moshe asked him to do. And the frogs all died from the houses, from the courtyards in the field. And they gathered all these frogs in great heaps. And the land stank. Many piles. And Pari suddenly saw that Baruch Hashem, there's a relief. The tzvadim are out of here. He chavid his sleep and he strengthened his heart. And he said, forget it. He said, forget it, because Hashem, as God has said, that's going to happen. Verse 12, Moshe God said to Moshe, tell Aaron, reach out your hand, and strike the dust of the earth. And they'll be like lice in the entire land of Egypt. So again, just like the water, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't do the plagues with the water because he was saved by the water. So too again the earth. It's inappropriate for the dust to be smitten through Moshe Rabbeinu, since it protected him again. When he killed the Egyptian, he hid him in the earth. So the earth was also the plague didn't go through Moshe, it went through Aaron. Yaskein and Aaron did that. But Aaron stretched out his hand with his staff. And he hit the earth. By Tiakinim, and then suddenly lice came onto Egypt. But Behema, call Afar its entire earth of Egypt. So the lice was swarming, the swarming of lice. So the Khartoumim try to do it with their witchcraft. To take out even more lice. But they could not do it. And there was kinim all over the place. So to create them, another version to bring them out for someplace else. But they couldn't do it. Why couldn't they do it with the kinim? Because the demon has no power over a creature that's smaller than a barley corn. And since kinim is smaller than a barley corn, they could not do it. So they couldn't do any witchcraft. So even the witchcrafters of Egypt said, so these Witchcrafters said to Pharaoh, Etzba Lakimi, this is real. This is a real situation. This is a godly situation. But the Pharaoh said, have a good day. But the Pharaoh's heart remained steadfast. He said, I don't care. As God said. Now she says, they said, no, my friends, Pharaoh, this plague cannot be done through witchcraft. This must be a godly thing. God said to Moshe, go out in the morning, go out in the morning again, stand before the Pharaoh. As we know, he goes out in the morning to the Nile. This is what God tells Shlach Ami, send my nation, v'yavduni, and let them serve me. Verse 17, because if you're not going to send out my nation, I'm going to send into you, into your slaves, to your nation, to your house. It's an orev. I'm going to send into your wild animals. These wild animals are going to be roaming around Egypt. They're going to go into all the houses. That's an orev, and to the land which they are. Now it says, what does it mean? I'm going to send against you. I'm going to incite against you. I'm going to incite the animals to go in. Usually animals stay in their own habitat. They roam once in a while into civilization, but here I'm going to send them all in. Now it says all species of wild beasts, snakes, scorpions, and its mixture. They were destroying among them. There is a reason given to the matter in Agoda for each plague. Why this one and why that one? Following a king's war strategy, did he come up to them, the Egyptians, according to the order of a kingdom when is besiege a city. First, the king's army destroys the city springs. Then they blow sounds of rams, horns, to frighten them. And that was the frogs. And then they send kinim. And ultimately, they send wild beasts. And then you can look it up in Medrash Tanchuma, which explains what was the order of the plagues. Verse 18, and in that day I will separate. You'll see the separation. As Eretz Goshen, on that day, when you're going to have wild animals roaming around Egypt, but not in Goshen. In Goshen, there will be not one animal. The Vilta Yoshem Arab, there will not be wild animals in Goshen. The Manteda, you shall know. Kani Hashem Bekerev Haaretz, I am God in the midst of the land. V'iflesi, I will set apart. And I will set apart, I'll show that there's a difference. The Manteda, although my Shechina is in heaven, my decree is fulfilled in the lower worlds. I have the power of Belyonim Ubatachtonim. I have the power of the in the upper worlds and in lower worlds, and therefore I have the power of separation to separate between Goshen and the rest of the Egypt. And that completes the Chumash for today. And now we go to the 14th chapter of Tanya, chapter 14 of Tanya. And he says as follows. After he explained what a Beinoni is, hopefully we understood what the core essence of a middleman is, he now says as follows. Now, the ranking of a Beinoni. He midas kol adam. The Alter Rebbe says the ranking of a Beinoni, anybody could be a Beinoni. You might not be a tzaddik, and you should never be a rasha, but you can all be a Beinoni. And therefore, v'acharei kol adam yimshach. And each person should strive after being a Beinoni. Shekol adam yachal liyah Beinoni, because every person can be a Beinoni at any time or any hour. Nobody can take control over you. That's it. Why? Because the Beinoni is not that he hates evil. The opposite. He might love evil. Because the hate and love is something that's given to the heart. It's hard to control that. And not all times are alike. So therefore, we have certain things in our heart which we have love to and which we have awe of. And you cannot change those things so easily. Maybe never change those things. Because that is my nature. That I have ava to certain things and I have yira and I have awe of certain things. So the power of the heart is not all equal, and therefore you don't always have total power over your heart. But to have self-control, everybody has self-control. Could have self-control. To say that I can't control myself, King Solomon says, who is a person who wants to see life? To see the beauty of days and goodness. It's very simple. Turn away from evil, do good. That's it. Simple. Have control of your destiny. Have control of my destiny. When I right now, go away from evil. Something evil comes towards me, walk away from it. Do good. Simple as that. It's not a big deal, and we can all do that. Very practical, and actual. Indeed, speech and thought. In this manner, in these matters of thought, speech, and action. You and I have free choice. We can think about it, we can talk about it, and we can do it or not. To act and think and speak things that are opposite of my heart. I love this. I'm not going to speak about it. That's it. I'm just going to control it. That's it. Just say no. Everybody has free choice. That's it. So nobody can say, I have to think about this. I have to say this. I have to do this. I don't have to do nothing. You can do it or not. The same thing is mitzvahs too. You have free choice. Even though you're commanded to do a mitzvah, you have free choice. That's what it says. David says, I've given you life and the opposite of life. I hope you choose life. Choose the mitzvah, but it's your choice. What's going to happen? If you're not going to do the mitzvah, the Levana is going to fall down? No. You have free choice. I hope you choose to be a good person. It's your choice. That's what Maimonides says. One of the most important principles of Yiddishkeit is free choice. Never should a person be bonded or coerced or forced to do anything. He should do it out of goodness of his heart. Through his education. That's what it says. Chanech lanar. Teach a child how to be a mensch. Gam kiyaskin liyasim. Even when he gets older, he won't leave him. So we'll make the right choices. Because even when the heart craves and desires a material pleasure, whether it's allowed, or whether it's prohibited, chas v'shalom, God forbid, my free choice is I can stop thinking about it. and a simple statement. But when you say to your heart, "Ein Rasha," thank you, but no thank you. Thank you for the idea, but no thank you. I don't want to be a Rasha for a second, so I am not doing it. And what means a Rasha? I don't want to be separated from God. If this is going to separate me from God, I'm not interested. So if this is a godly act, even though it's a physical act, it's a godly act, there's some purpose in it, I'm ready. There's no purpose in it, thank you, but no thank you. But it says, my sins separate. That's really the negative of sin. The negative of sin is that it's separation. I don't want separation. So you have a situation, you have a relationship. You might want to say something to somebody where you have a good relationship. You realize that's going to create a division. So I might be right. I might say, oh, but it's going to create a division. Why would I create division? Why would I want to create challenges and fighting? Why? Why would I want to do that? So I'll say something right, but I'll lose the war because I'm going to create division. So therefore, I'm not going to say it. Why would I want to do something that's going to create division between me and God? Why? What's the gain? There's no gain. And therefore, he tells you, you know what? I have a desire to do it. You're right. You know me good and well that I have the desire because the proof is you're right here. So I have the desire, but I'm not interested. It's not the right time. I have no interest in this right now, into doing this. And therefore, that would be the best thing. If somebody comes and tells you, you want to talk a good piece of Lashon Hara, you say, not right now. Not that I don't have desire to talk Lashon Hara, I do. But not right now. I'm not interested right now. I'm in a good mode right now. Why would I want to talk negativity? Why would I want to bring into my life a negative story? Even though I might have a desire to hear the good, juicy story. But why now? Why I'm in a good mode? Why bring it to the situation? And that's being honest. To say that I don't have a desire in the good piece of Lashon Hara and the good piece of the juicy gossip, that's not true. I do. But I'm not interested right now. I don't want to create division. I'm looking for unity, so why are you bringing in division? Because right now I want to unite my nefesh, ruach, and neshama, my soul. I want to connect it to spirituality. So I'm trying to live in a world of unity, a world of godly. You want to bring into my existence a negative force? I'm not interested right now. I might have a desire for it, but I'm not interested right now. I want to have a holy existence. I want my mind to be clear and pure. And where do I get this love from? This love of God? From the love of God that is surely hidden in my heart. That's in the heart of every Jew. So even the guy might say to himself, "What is? I'm not such a lover. I'm not such a holy guy." You are a holy guy. I am a holy guy because I have a godly soul that loves the Eibishter, that loves God. So even though right now I'm in a challenge, but in essence, I love God. So if I love God, why would I bring into my existence something that separates me from God? That God's not going to be happy with the conversation. So God is right there, and he's stuck in the conversation. He's not happy with the conversation. He's uncomfortable. Why would I talk a conversation in front of God when he's uncomfortable? And since God is always with me, he'll always be uncomfortable with a negative conversation. So therefore, why talk in the front of God? Why would I do that for him? Now God has to, so to say, hide after he's uncomfortable. Why would I do that? And therefore we see, I feel the kal shebekalin. We can find by Jews unworthy Jews, Jews that were never religious at all, but they're ready to give up their lives for God and for Jews. It's unbelievable. Here they don't believe, they don't do anything, but they're ready to give up their lives for another Jew. Why? Because their essence, they are a lover of God and a lover of other Jews. So I am not inferior if there's Jews throughout history that were ready to be Moshe Nefesh, ready to give their life up for God. So I cannot overcome this little thing. If a Jew is ready to give up his life for God, he's not ready to stop a simple sin. He's not ready to overcome a simple challenge. I'm ready to give my life up for God, but I'm not ready to overcome a simple challenge. So that's talking to himself. This is the concept of talking to your own Nefesh HaBahamis, your own self. You talk to yourself. You say, if push comes to shove, I'm ready to give my life up to God, like many, many Jews throughout history that didn't know nothing. Maybe they were not even religious. They gave up their life for God. I'm not ready to give away this taiva, this simple taiva, this simple desire for God. I'm ready. I'm surely ready. So why would Jews throughout history ready to give up their life for God, but didn't want to do Torah mitzvahs? Why? If every Jew thought that way, every Jew would be holy. The reason is that a spirit of folly, a spirit of stupidity comes into the mind of the Jew. That every Jew thinks that when he does an Aveda, he doesn't separate for God. I'm a Jew. That's what Jews always say. I'm a Jew. It's not what I do. It's who I am. And it's true. But it's not, but ultimately you're a Jew that's separated from God, and that's what you are doing. Your Avedas are creating a division between you and God. So therefore, just like you wouldn't bow down to an idol, right? If they're going to put a gun to a Jew's head and say, bow down to an idol, the Jew is going to say, are you serious? Forget it. I'm going to give my life up. I'm not going to bow down to the idol. Why? Because there he knows that he's going to separate, that he's going to be cut off from God. There's no difference between an idol and not putting on tefillin in the morning. It's the same Torah. There's no difference between an idol and eating non-kosher. And there's no difference between an idol and talking Lashon Hara. Both of them say in the Torah, you shall not bow down to an idol, and you shall not be rachel. You should not talk Lashon Hara. Do not talk evil. It doesn't say in the Torah one is bigger, smaller than the others. Two verses in the Torah, and you can look it up, and you'll see it says you shouldn't bow down to an idol, and you shouldn't talk evil. But what does a Jew think? We all think like that way. We rationalize it. An idol, that's a biggie. That's a biggie one. That's a big one. But talk a lot of shit, it's not so important. It's not such a terrible thing. That's not true. Because both of them is sundering himself, he's cutting himself off from the source, from the godly source of his existence. Whether he bows down to an idol or whether he talks evil. He imagines that with this small sin that he's doing, he's still perfect. He's a perfect Jew. And his soul is not cut off from God. And that's not true. In fact, the moment the Jew sins, he becomes separate from God. Any sin that he does, it's a separation. The analogy is giving of a strand that has 613 strings, separate strands in it, a rope. Every Aveda that I do, I cut another strand. Now the entire rope becomes weakened. Even though there's still another 600 strands. But now every time I tear another little rope, the entire rope becomes weaker and weaker. But we all rationalize. That's what the Mishnah says. You should run after a mitzvah, what you think is a simple mitzvah, a small mitzvah, like you run after a big mitzvah. You should run away for the what you think is a simple avera, like you run away for the big one. They're both in God's eyes. They're both the same mitzvah. They're both the same avera. It's 613 mitzvahs, 248 positive and 365 negative. And they're both all mitzvahs and all avedas. And both of them is connection and disconnection. When I do a mitzvah, I connect. When I do an aveda, that's why a mitzvah is called connecting. And aveda is to move away. Whatever I think in my mind is a big one and a small one, either one, I'm moving off the path. So what's the difference if I moved off the path? Very off the path or a little bit off the path? It's off the path. I got off the road. So I talk myself in. Even I rationalize that you know what? There's not so bad doing something that sounds to me like an easy thing. God understands this. Okay. How do you know that? Well, we rationalize it. God understands it. God understands the sin. God knows I got to do this. Okay. How do you rationalize that? And ultimately, the sad thing is, as the Alter Rebbe continues, and the most important thing is the time that he does the sin, whatever it might be, he forgets his love to God. That's it. It's the same thing we do in relationships with each other or with our families. So we small avedas, we say, they can handle it. But really the small things, sometimes the smaller things count more than the bigger ones. Because it's a relationship. How do you know what the Eibishter wants? Where does it say God wants bigger or smaller? Never said that. He doesn't even call it small and big in the Torah. There's no such thing as small and big. So you say to Yetzer Hara, you say, I don't want to be a fool. You're asking me to be a fool. I don't want to be a fool that will deny the truth. So I'm denying the truth. So you have to rationalize it. That's called again. Your nefesh habahamis is important that he understands you. So this can't dictate to your nefesh habahamis. You need to explain it to him. And if you explain to yourself, you rationalize it to yourself. You say, listen, that's the emes. I know the emes. Because the truth is, how do I know what the truth is? Because ultimately, if you're going to push me to do a biggie, I'm going to say no. So I'm not going to be a fool to do a big one. But the truth is, if you think about it, where do we have the difference between a big one and a small one? That's only my rationalization, not the truth. The truth is, there's no difference between big or small. It's about connecting and disconnecting. There's no difference of big disconnection or small disconnection. They're both disconnected. The Chofetz Chaim gave an analogy. You can have a humongous machine, and then it breaks down, and it's a small screw. This whole humongous machine has broken down because of a small screw. You think this whole machine cannot move because of a small screw? Are you serious? Yeah. The machine is not working because of a 2-cent screw. This $1 billion machine, $1 million machine is not moving because of a 2-cent screw. That's the way, that's what the Mishnah says. Don't evaluate between what you think is big and what you think is small. Because the machine doesn't work. Whether it's a big component in this thing or it's a very small little screw, but you decided it's a small screw. This is not a small screw. This small screw keeps the whole thing going. And that's the emes, and that's the truth. That is the truth. So therefore, I turned to my nefesh ba'am and I say, you're right. I have the desire. I really want to do it because I don't think I can rationalize it. But why? Why would I do something that's stupid, that I know is stupid, that I know is not truthful? I can overcome it. I have the power to overcome. I have the free choice to overcome. And that's the way we need to talk to our nefesh habahamis, and everybody can do that. And that's not lying. See, if you tell your animalistic soul, I don't have the desire, he'll laugh at you. And he'll say, what are you talking about? I know you better than you know yourself. So therefore, I'm your nefesh habahamis. I know you do have the desire. So don't say you don't have the desire. You 100% have the desire. That's all you got to say is, I don't want to do it, but I know I have the desire. So when you need to go on a diet, you need to say to the chocolate cake, I know I have the desire to eat you, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. If you can talk yourself into it, you're not going to do it. So the truth of the matter is that sin does separate man from God, and that one does have a natural love of God that dictates the performance of mitzvahs. These truths one must say to himself, I do not wish to deny. I don't wish to deny my love of God. I don't wish to deny and lie to myself that an Aveda is not separating me from God. It's both a lie, because I love God. I love the relationship with God, and I would not want to separate from God in any way whatsoever. So such arguments are effective in a conflict with one animal soul. That's the argument. Over actual thought, speech, and act. That needs to be your struggle and your argument with your animalistic soul. Using above-mentioned reasoning, one can prevail over his evil inclination at all times, in both turning from evil and doing good, and thereby attaining the rank of a Beinoni. We all can use this argument. There's no excuses for any of us not to take this argument and use it out to explain to ourselves the truth and what we really want to do and what we really don't want to do. And my friends, that completes the Tanya of the day. Today is the 26th day of the month, which is the second half of chapter 119. And from the letter Mem till the end of the chapter, and you would do the chitas of the day. That's easy. And Mitch, I want to invite everybody at 10 a.m. We're going to learn a Sikh of the Rebbe on the portion of the week, either at Chabad or on this Zoom number, or at if you're on Facebook, on TorahDirect.com on Facebook. And I wish you all a beautiful, wonderful, happy, healthy, phenomenal day. Have a great day. See you all at 10 a.m. or tomorrow at 8 a.m. We'll continue to learn the chitas of the day.